The accident that changed everything. First, a huge thank you to my incredible subscribers. Your support lets me dive into the messy, raw corners of life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with these stories. This one's complicated, so stick with me. 3 years ago, an accident took my legs, my independence, and nearly my will to live. But it gave me my son Jace in a way I never expected. The doctors called me lucky. Lucky the semi-truck didn't crush me completely. Lucky my spine wasn't severed. Lucky Jace wasn't in the car that night. Lucky, they said. Funny word for a woman who can't walk 10 steps without her legs screaming. Our little Ohio house used to feel too big when Jace was at school. Now it feels too small. He's everywhere, cooking meals, adjusting my pillows, lifting me into the shower when my muscles give out. My boy, my man. Because that's the thing no one warns you about when you have a kid at 16 one day they grow up. Really up. Jace, 19, is tall, broad, works construction. His hands are rough, his voice deep, his eyes. God, his eyes like his father's, the man who left the second the pregnancy test turned pink. Mom, I jump. Jace stands in the doorway holding a bowl of soup. You didn't eat lunch. I wasn't hungry. You never are. He sets the bowl on my nightstand, frowning. Your legs bad today? I don't answer. He knows. Without asking, he sits on my bed, rolls up my sweatpants. My breath hitches. The scars are ugly, twisted skin, jagged lines from surgeries. His fingers hover. Can I nod. His touch is clinical at first, kneading the stiff muscles around my knee. But then his thumb finds a knot near my inner thigh, and I bite my lip. You're tense, he murmurs. You have no idea. His hands move higher, not enough to be improper, but enough that my pulse kicks. It's just the heat of his skin, I tell myself, the relief of pain melting away. But when his fingertips brush the edge of my shorts, I stop breathing. Jace stops too. For one heartbeat, neither of us moves. Then he clears his throat, pulls my pant leg down. Better. No. Yes. Thanks, baby. He hesitates like he wants to say more, then takes the soup bowl and leaves. I stare at the ceiling, replaying those seconds when his touch almost slipped too far. For the first time in years, I feel something other than pain. Something dangerous. The second time he touched me, I knew it wasn't just about my legs anymore. Morning light spilled through the curtains, too bright for the storm in my head. I hadn't slept haunted by Jace's hands, warm, calloused, lingering. It was nothing, I told myself, a son helping his mother. But the way my skin burned, that wasn't pain. The creak of Jace's door snapped me back. I adjusted the blanket over my lap as if he could see my thoughts. His shadow filled the doorway. You're up early? He said, voice rough with sleep. Shirtless sweatpants, a tattoo curling over his ribs, something he got last year without asking. I forced my eyes away. Couldn't sleep. Legs again. You. I nodded. He sighed, sat beside me, pulled the blanket back, and placed his hands on my bare calf. I flinched. Sorry, he muttered. Cold hands. But it wasn't the temperature. It was how his fingers pressed slow, deliberate, like he was memorizing me. You're tight, everywhere, he said. I swallowed hard. Last night, I could pretend it was an accident. Now in daylight, there was no denying how his thumb circled higher, how his palm slid up my thigh. Jace, relax, he said, voice deeper. You're fighting it. I wasn't fighting the massage. I was fighting this. The way my body reacted, the way my breath hitched when his fingertips grazed my shorts, the way his eyes looked at me, not like a son, but like a man. A knock at the door shattered the moment. Jace jerked back. You expecting someone? No. He stood, muscles flexing, and went to answer. Voices carried Mrs. Calloway, our nosy neighbor, offering to grab something from the store. Jace's polite refusal, the door closing. When he returned, His expression was unreadable. "Think she suspects?" he asked. My heart stopped. Suspects, what he smirked, that we never returned her casserole dish. I forced a laugh, but my hands trembled. For a second, I thought he meant us. That night, rain lashed the windows. The storm knocked out the power, plunging the house into darkness. Jace lit candles, their glow-painting shadows across his face. He sat beside me on the couch, close enough that I felt his heat. "You cold, number liar." He draped a blanket over us. Our legs brushed beneath it. Neither of us moved away. The wind howled a tree branch, scraping the roof like fingernails. Then his hand found mine, not an accident, not casual. His fingers laced through mine, rough sure. I should have pulled away. I didn't. In the candlelight, his eyes were black, a warning, a question, a plea. The power surged back, flooding the room with light. We sprang apart, but the current between us didn't fade. One kiss. That's all it took to break us, remake us into something we weren't supposed to be. For 3 days after that night, Jace and I moved like strangers, polite, careful, hungry. I caught him staring at my mouth when I spoke. His hands lingered when he helped me stand. Once I turned too fast and found him inhaling the scent of my hair. We were a lit fuse. Then the explosion. It was a Tuesday. Jace came home from work smelling of sweat and summer heat. He kicked off his boots, his white t-shirt clinging to his chest. "You okay?" he asked, nodding at my stiff posture on the couch. "Just sore." I forced a smile. Without a word, he lifted my legs onto his lap. My breath caught as his fingers dug into my calf. "You work too hard," he muttered. Says the man who rebuilt our porch ramp alone when insurance wouldn't cover it. The man who carried me upstairs every night. His thumb pressed into a knot near my knee, and I bit back a moan. "Shh," he said, voice rough. "Just let me take care of you." But this wasn't care, it was want. I saw it in his tightened jaw, felt it in the tremor of his fingers as they slid higher. When his hand reached my thigh, I grabbed his wrist. We froze his pulse, hammering against my fingers. "Tell me to stop," he said, a challenge, a plea. I should have said it, shoved him away, called a therapist, pretended this never happened. But I couldn't. I let go. His kiss wasn't gentle, it was fire teeth. 19 years of pent-up hunger. His hands fisted in my hair, our mouths crashing like this was the only way to breathe. I gasped, my fingers digging into his shoulders. "We can't. We already are." He nipped my lip, sending a shock between my legs. "You feel that that's us?" "And God help me." I did the hard press of him against my hip, my body arching like a flower chasing the sun. This was wrong, so wrong, but when his tongue slid against mine, all I could think was more. We didn't make it to the bedroom. Jace pinned me to the couch, hips grinding my hands, clawing at his shirt. The fabric tore, but neither of us cared. "Look at me," he growled. His eyes weren't just lust, they held love, the kind that breaks bones, leaves scars. Afterward, tangled in silence, reality crept in. Jace traced circles on my shoulder. "You okay, no?" "Yes." He knew I was lying, just as I knew he wasn't sorry. His voice was quiet. "I've wanted you since I was 15. My stomach dropped. This wasn't an accident, it was inevitable. Some silences are louder than words. Morning came too bright, too sharp. I woke before Jace, the weight of what we'd done crushing me. The sheets smelled of him, sweat, sawdust, something unmistakably male. My son, my lover. God, what had we done? He found me in the kitchen, staring at the coffee maker. "Hey," he murmured, voice rough. I couldn't look at him, couldn't bear the tenderness in his eyes. "Mom?" His hand on my shoulder, warm, familiar, wrong. I flinched. The hurt in his face cut deeper than any knife. We orbited each other all day, him trying to catch my eye, his fingers brushing mine, me pulling away, building walls with every thank you and pass the salt. By dinner, the tension was suffocating. "You're punishing me," he said, pushing his plate away. "I'm protecting us." My voice broke, from what people would say if they knew, from the shame that'll destroy us. His jaw tightened. "I'm not ashamed. You will be." That night I heard him pacing floorboards, creaking. Then my door clicked open. Moonlight spilled across the bed as he stood there, shirtless, chest heaving. "I can't pretend," he said hoarsely. "Not with you." My resolve crumbled. We didn't speak as he crossed the room. Every touch, every glance, every ragged breath said what words couldn't. This was our undoing, and we dove in head first. 10% they joy bet jiao tu jai. 1 year later, the neighbors still marvel at how close we are. "Such a devoted son," Mrs. Calloway says at the grocery store, smiling as I adjust the scarf around my neck, hiding the faint mark Jace left last night. Always taking such good care of his mother. I nod politely, my fingers brushing the plain silver ring on my left hand, a band nobody questions, because who would suspect a single mother of anything more? Jace's hand finds mine as we walk to the car, his grip firm, possessive. No one looks twice. No one knows. And that's how we need it to stay. But secrets have a way of clawing their way out. Last week, Mrs. Calloway stopped by unannounced, her eyes lingering on Jace's boots, by the door, the 2 coffee mugs on the counter. "You two are so close?" she said, her tone sharp with curiosity. My heart raced, but I smiled, offering her tea. Jace's gaze met mine across the room, a warning, a promise. "We've built a fragile world balanced on lies and stolen moments. Every touch risks exposure, every glance courts disaster. Yet when he pulls me close at night, his breath warm against my skin, I can't let go. What happens when the truth breaks free? You won't believe what's coming. Hit that subscribe button, share your thoughts below, and tell me, could you live with a secret this heavy, or would you let it burn you down?